What's going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be real with you guys. I've been really enjoying Gears of War Reloaded. I know it has its fair share of issues, and I hope that, the Coalition actually comes in and fixes up the Nasher and does some other things to make sure the experience is polished and good to hold people over until E-Day, because I'll be real. Like I said, I've been having fun with it still at the end of the day. I would still prefer to play Gears of War Reloaded over Gears of War 5. And, it'll be really cool to see them actually put some attention into some updates for the overall experience. But there is another huge issue that I have really witnessed, not only with Gears of War Reloaded, but, with Gears 5 and the Ultimate Edition, so on and so forth, that I think is kind of holding the whole franchise back. Now, I know this isn't going to be able to be resolved within Gears of War Reloaded, and I'm hoping that it's not too late for E-Day. But the point that I want to make here in today's video is the overall vibes of what Gears of War 1 had to offer to the overall community. I feel like that is massively missing from a lot of these current day Gears of War titles. And it's sad because it does look, good. I'll be real, when you're playing Gears of War Reloaded, it looks clean, does it not? But it lacks a certain vibe, a certain atmosphere that really helped Gears of War thrive back in the day. And I saw a few clips over on Reddit. Well, not a few. I saw only a couple of clips over on Reddit that kind of showcased it perfectly. The first clip I have for you guys is by an individual called Adal Rich, I believe, and they said, "Call me crazy, but I think the original game looks better than the remake." And the footage is honestly really solid. Of course, I'm actually going to take a second here and just showcase the footage and the audio as well, because as a whole, it is just absolute perfection. And please, note what you're looking right here. Note it, so you know exactly what the reloaded version of this game looks like. And then, as I stated, see what the original Gears of War 1 looked like. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there was a Bullet Marsh, and yes, the vibes are massively freaking different. Everything down to the audio, the graphics, the visuals, the atmosphere of the game itself. Don't get me wrong, as I stated, Gears of War Reloaded looks very good. It looks beautiful, dare I say. But there was a charm about that Gears of War 1 vibe. And honestly, I feel like we never touched upon that vibe, that atmosphere, low-key ever again. It was like a one-and-done type deal. And I can understand why, because it is pretty dang dark, all right? Let's keep it real here. I actually have another bit of footage by Tekken Exposer. Now, this clip wasn't, an actual clip going ahead and showcasing the atmosphere of the game. It was more so some humor behind it, showcasing the host, disconnecting or so on and so forth after getting chainsawed up. He said, yes, that's the Gears 1 that I remember and love. But it still showcases Mansion from Gears of War 1. And again, the vibes of this map, nowhere. I mean, it's nowhere close to what they did and changed it to within Gears of War Reloaded. And honestly, it's gotten to a point where, even for me personally, all I hear people say, and I suggest the same thing to people as well. Everybody who asks me about Gears of War, I always ask, can you play the original? Do you have access to the original? Because if you do, play that. Reloaded and the Ultimate Edition, not bad, but it changes so much. And you think it wouldn't. You would truly think it wouldn't, because it's just the lighting. It's just dark as hell. That's realistically all it is. But you can't really truly tell until you are playing it and experiencing it, to notice how much of a difference it truly makes. Playing the campaign for Gears of War 1 and all those intense, horrifying moments I'm not going to say they don't hold the same strength anymore, because they do. If you play on Reloaded, you're still going to get that, that jump from certain moments within the game. But it's nothing compared to when it was just absolutely pitch black, dark, gloomy, depressing. I mean, the world literally felt like it was ending just through the visuals itself. It still does with Reloaded, but as I keep stating, it's a whole different vibe when it comes down to the original Gears of War 1. So this is where I kind of stand right now, and I don't know if this is going to be realistic, and I don't even know if this will be a popular idea. But of course, this is YouTube. I just enjoy making content. I love sharing my opinions. I'm just an everyday average person. I'm not special whatsoever. So please, just, have an open discussion with it. Let me know how you feel and give me your take on this as well. But I would love for Gears of War E-Day moving forward, because I know Reloaded isn't going to change. It's already set. It's already done. And I know E-Day is probably already set and done as well. I mean, it's going to be releasing in 2026. They've been developing it for a while, so I'm sure the foundation has already been set. But I would really love for E-Day to really tone it back a bit. I'll say the visuals so far from what we've seen in the trailers looks pretty solid. But I'm worried about when we really dive deep into the game. Is it going to give me more of a Reloaded look, where they're trying to make the game look beautiful, bright and vibrant, stunning? Or is it going to be, a more gritty vibe, where they're really trying to take it back? I mean, this is before Gears of War 1, right? So, it'll be awesome to see how the overall atmosphere and world that they have built looks all, bright and vibrant, and things are going well. And then again, E-Day hits, and everything just gets torn to absolute crap, and the darkness truly comes on in, and they can give you that Gears of War 1 atmosphere, all over again, and see that transition of it happening, because you don't really see the transition within Gears of War 1. Now you actually will. But I don't know, guys, seriously, this might be a horrible idea to make a game as dark as Gears of War 1 again. But maybe it's nostalgia talking for me. But I really do miss when games had more of a horror vibe to them, over, an arcade, shiny, beautiful, glorious atmosphere. Like, I always think back to, again, OG Gears of War. Even in the Call of Duty franchise, they had World at War. World at War was horrifying, man. That game was creepy, but it gave it a vibe. It helped with it tremendously. A game with barely any grinds, you couldn't camo grind. All you could really do is go for level grind and some challenges on the side, right? I mean, it didn't have as much as other COD games to experience, but the vibes and atmosphere helped push it so well. Personally, it's one of my favorite Call of Duty games ever made. A lot of the older school games that tried to add horror elements into their titles were so much more, horrifying. And nowadays, it seems like everything is changing. I feel like a lot of developers, as I stated, they're just more so pushing for the ooh, wow type of visuals, things that pop and are like eye candy, because of the technology that, is given to us, right? Compared to back in the day. But I wish that some people would still basically admire the old school horror style that some of these games were able to, pull out, especially with the lack of technology that some of these dev teams had back in the day. It's very impressive how they were still able to, make a game feel and just have the immersion so much more intense than some of the stuff they can pump out current day. I don't know. Again, it might be nostalgia talking, but I truly do miss those classic horror style of shooters. And I hope one day it will return, and I would love to see it return with E-Day, as I stated before, but who knows? They've already been making the game. It's been in development for ages now. I'm sure it's set in stone. But overall, I would still love to hear what you guys have to say about this overall topic down in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you think the horror vibes and the darkness, grittiness of Gears of War 1 should make a return? Or do you think that should stay in the past, keep its charm where it's at? It's just nostalgia, and maybe if they implement something like that current date, it might not turn out as good as it did back in the day. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And we also double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between Gears, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Splitgate, Arc Raiders. I mean, the list goes on. Pretty much any first-person or third-person shooter that sparks my interest, I love to discuss on this channel. So, as I stated, subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified on everything that goes live. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I got to link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.